everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm back with another what sold from last week video. Not gonna lie, we're behind, but we're gonna wipe out all the ones that I missed, and we're just gonna start fresh with a new week and get back on track essentially. Sales have been surprisingly steady given the fact that we are moving into a summer slowdown. I'm happy with it. You guys are going to see what those sales look like, and then I did pull, of course, as usual, some items to show you, hand selected of some that I think that you should pick up while you're at your local thrift store. Let's dive right into those sales. Okay, so all of the sales that you see here happened between May 29th through June 4th. In total, I sold 146 items between two platforms, eBay and Poshmark. I cross-post all of my items onto both of those platforms using List Perfectly. If you haven't already used List Perfectly, there is a link and coupon code down in the description. It is a referral link, and I do highly recommend List Perfectly. That's how I'm able to have great sales on both platforms every week, is by listing all items on both platforms, getting double eyes on the items. My total gross sales were $3,775.30. My average sale price was $25.86, which is fairly low. As I've mentioned in previous What Sold videos, we have been discounting a lot of our older items. With that in mind, we have been selling a lot of our older inventory and kind of flushing items out, which ultimately has dropped our average sale price. I expect that this will go up over the next couple of months back to my regular average sale price between $35 and $40. It's just, again, right now we are starting to flush out some older items to prepare for newer inventory. So average sale price $25.86. Still pretty happy with that. Based on estimated cost of goods, the total amount I spent for these goods was $584. My estimated net, which is my gross sales minus cost of goods minus fees and shipping costs, was $1,937.18. I sold 112 items on eBay for a gross sales total of $2,800, and on Poshmark 34 items for a gross sales amount of just over $900. Let's dive into some of these sales. So on eBay, the first item I wanted to show you was a bins find. I picked this up by the pound at my local Goodwill outlet. The brand is Mr. Ernest, which, after doing some research, I learned is a vintage brand. This is from the 50s or 60s. I saw similar bags in this brand selling, even with a little bit of distressing. Due to the age, it did have some distressing, but in otherwise good condition, for being as old as it was. I have really good luck with men's leather bags, and I'll typically pick them up regardless of brand if it is a substantial, nice leather bag. And so this was one I took a chance on. I listed this for $49.94. It sold on an offer for 10% off, which is typically what I send to my offers to watchers, is a 10% off offer. And it ended up selling for $44.95. Don't skip on the men's leather bags. Again, regardless of brand, I have really good luck with some of these pieces. Next up is a shapewear brand that I recently learned about called Ruby Ribbon. Here is the tag. It almost looks like a Spanx tag, that kind of skinny red pink color tag. This, just upon looking at it, is probably not something I would normally look at, but we picked this up at the bins and I saw the tag kind of sticking out and I thought it was Spanx. So for that reason, I did a little comp on it and realized that this is an outstanding shapewear brand. If you come across it, excellent comps, excellent sell-through rates. I picked this up for probably like $1 because it was by the pound. I listed it for $49.92. It sold relatively quickly within a couple months for my full asking price. Next up is a pair of men's Lululemon joggers. These are the ones that we actually found multiples of at the same store. We paid $4.99 each for them, and we found 3 of these exact ones, which is crazy. I always like to bring up men's Lululemon pieces because a lot of people don't know that Lululemon makes men's pieces. And the men's, in my opinion, do better than the women's. These luckily had the tag on it. Here is the logo. The men's typically do have this box around it, but not always. and it's typically a darker colored logo, which makes it a little bit harder to find if you don't have the rip tag. Luckily, this one did have the rip tag, and I was able to figure out that they were called the City Sweat Slim Joggers. Style makes a big difference in this brand in both men's and women's. I priced accordingly according to market, which was for about $43. It ended up selling on an offers to watchers for $38.66. And we actually found all three of these pants in the women's athletic wear section. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. There may be some men's pieces in the women's. This we paid a little bit up for. We paid $8.99 for these. They're a pair of Duluth Trading Company men's fire hose relaxed cargo pants, very heavy duty work pants. We paid up for these because they were new with tags, and this is just a very popular style. It also was a larger size, a 48 by 32. So for all of those factor stacking, I did pay up for it about $9, but I knew it would sell very quickly and I'd get my money back and then some. So we listed this for $34.93. It did sell for our full asking price. Next up is a pair of Sorel boots. We picked up these women's Sorels for $4.99. Not all Sorels do very well. I typically try to look up the exact style name on the inside, but $4.99 for a pair of Sorels, you can't really beat that, and these were in really great condition. These are called the Cumberland boots, size 7, and we listed them for $34.95. This obviously isn't the season for them, so I was sending out offers on these, and they ended up selling for another offers to watchers, 10% off for $31.46. This is the brand Rebecca Taylor. This is a brand that retails for quite a bit, but does not always have the best resale value or the best sell-through rate. However, I decided to pick this one up because it was a substantial piece. It was a silk maxi dress, and it had a really pretty, like, bohemian mixed print and kind of that, I don't know what you would call that, like a tattered hem. This I paid only $4.99 for. I had it listed much higher, but since it had been sitting, had been accepting offers, and I accepted an offer of $32. In the future, this is probably something that I would send to ThredUp or The RealReal, because again, it retails for quite a bit but doesn't always have the best resale value. But if I would have sent this to ThredUp, they probably would have listed it over $100, and then I might have made a payout of about $50. So I think in the future I'll be listing Rebecca Taylor over on ThredUp. This is a Banana Republic item. We come across a lot of Banana Republic here where I live, but we pick up almost none of it. The one thing that I have found to be pretty profitable with a good sell-through rate are these men's Banana Republic travel jeans. These seem to have a really good sell-through rate. These are a pair of pre-owned ones. We picked these up for $6.99, paid a little bit up for them, full price at a Goodwill. And they sold for a full asking price of $29.95. I'm okay with that price range, $7 to $30, and this is what they typically sell for us. This is Talbot's. This is a brand I've been picking up a lot of here lately. I feel like a lot of people have been talking about this in the reseller world. Talbot's just has become a brand that has performed really well. I do try to pair some substantial factors with it, like for instance, this is a plus size 2X, and it is a pretty long, thick, like cardigan sweater. We paid $7 for this. Again, I paid up knowing that it would sell quickly. We listed it for $29.95. It sold on an offer to watcher for $26.95. Here is an Eileen Fisher dress. This is one of my favorite brands to sell. I'll pretty much pick it up in anything. This was a size extra small, so I did expect it to sit for a little bit, but it was made of silk, and it was this really pretty ombre dress. I thought this was really gorgeous. Eileen Fisher does especially well when it is made out of really nice materials. We paid $4.99 for this. It sold on an offer for $29.14. Men's Lucky Brand jeans have still been performing well for us, although I will say they do not sell for as much as they used to. I used to be able to get like 35 to 40. Now it's more like 25 to 35. These are the 410 Athletic Slims. They still have a pretty decent sell-through rate. I paid $6.99 for these. They sold on an offer for $24.96. Not the best return on investment, but definitely a quick flip, so I got some money back and then some. This is something we picked up based on style. It is called Hopeless Romantic is the brand, but that didn't matter to me. We typically look for, regardless of brand, this like ivory thick cable knit sweater look, and these had some really cute floral buttons, and for all of those reasons we picked it up. We pick up a lot of sweaters like this, the ivory cable knit. This one was just cotton. It wasn't made out of really any wool or cashmere or anything like that. So we did price it a little bit lower, but in general, I'd keep your eye out for this kind of aesthetic. We paid $4.39 for it. It sold on an offer for $22.60. This is one of my favorite men's brands to sell. It is Travis Matthew. They don't sell for a ton, about, that $25 to $30 mark, but very consistent sellers, very quick flips. We paid $4.69 for these pair of athletic golf shorts. They sold for a full asking price of $24.94. Another favorite men's brand to sell, this is Tommy Bahama. We try to stick to the silk button-up shirts, and we try to stick to the larger sizes in this brand. The larger the size, the better the pattern, the more we'll price it up. I'll typically price these anywhere between $25 and $35. Again, that scale slides depending on how many factors it has. In this case, this was a size extra large. It was a floral, nice silk button-down shirt, so we priced it a little bit higher at $29.95, and it did sell for our full asking price. Another great men's brand to sell, this is Johnny O. Same thing with the Travis Matthew. Does not sell for a ton, about $25 to $30, but it does have a really great sell-through rate, so we continue picking it up because they are awesome quick flips. Great way to get your money back really quickly. I paid $4.69 for this men's pink polo, and I listed it for $24.93. It sold on an offer for $22.44. This is a surprising brand for me. We've been picking this up in the men's department a lot, and it's been performing really well. It's the Territory Ahead. This is just a men's waffle knit pullover sweater. Not really anything to see here. The brand is just performing very well. I paid $5 for this. It sold for our full asking price of $24.92. Moving on to some of the Poshmark sales, here is another men's brand. We sold a lot of men's items this last month. We've been doing a lot of sourcing in the men's department, mainly because it sells for more money and it sells quicker. And just in general, we find that the buyers don't want to hassle you as much or ask as many questions. So we're really enjoying selling in the men's department, which is why you're seeing a lot of it in the solds. This is a really great men's brand to pick up. It is FootJoy, which is a golf brand. Sometimes it won't have the whole spell out. It'll just say FJ, and you'll just have to know that that's FootJoy. I come across these pretty often. Same thing, about $25. We paid $4.39 for this. It sold for $24 on Poshmark. This is a Ralph Lauren find that I found at the bins. This is like unlike any Ralph Lauren aesthetic that I've seen. It isn't typically like a hippie beachy brand. But when I saw that this was Ralph Lauren and it was kind of interesting with that ombre kind of beach halter dress look, I definitely had to pick this up. Again, I got this at the bin, so probably paid a couple bucks, and I accepted an offer of $30. Any kind of Ralph Lauren interesting pieces I'm always on the lookout for. This is another Ralph Lauren piece. This is a Ralph Lauren canvas tote handbag, and these retail for a lot. This was new with tags, so I kind of held out on this essentially. Or sorry, new without tags. It was like brand new but did not have the tags. Very, very nice quality. Because I knew it retailed a lot and it was in such great condition, I held out on the price. I listed it very high. We paid up for this. We paid $20 for this, $19.99. I accepted an offer of $84. So 20 into 84, that's a gross profit of $64. Can't beat that. I'm not afraid to pay up for something if I know I'm going to get a substantial return on investment or if it's going to sell quickly. This is another men's pickup. This is Soft Surroundings. I really do like this brand, but I think style matters a lot on this one, so we always look up the style number on the inside. This was called the, not sure how to pronounce it, Chiang Mai cardigan, and it was just a nice cardigan poncho. It is a larger size. Again, we picked this up at the bin, so probably a few bucks. It sold on an offer for $34. This is Zara Woman, which is a higher line within Zara. So I do like picking up Zara Woman a lot. I will say Zara is one of those brands that used to sell for quite a bit. Lately, I really try to focus on only substantial pieces, and in particular, this line Zara Woman does really good. So this is a really nice long maxi skirt, pleated, really nice neutral color. And I just picked it up based off of aesthetic. I paid $4.69 for it. It sold pretty quickly on an offer for $38. Next is another Talbot's piece. I paid $4.99 for this Talbot's dress. I got this because it was extra large and it was a nice geometric print. This sold for a full asking price on Poshmark of $29. Someone just bought it outright. This is another Ben's pickup. This is the brand Elizabeth and James. Not typically something with a high sell-through rate, but this was a pair of new tags, leather size 12, so larger size shorts. And for all of those reasons, I decided to pick it up. It wasn't too much of an investment because we picked it up at the bins, and it sold relatively quickly, actually, for $30. I was not expecting it to sell so quickly. So this is kind of an interesting find and sale. This is the brand Nanette by Nanette Lepore. I come across Nanette Lepore pretty often, but I don't typically pick it up. However, these embroidered jeans do really well in this brand. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but it was doing really well. And these were called the HW Broadway Crop. Again, if you don't pick up Nanette Lepore, if you come across her embroidered jeans, probably worth looking into. We actually paid up for these because the comps were so good. We paid $9.99 for these. They sold on an offer for $42, which is, again, crazy because normally we just pass on this brand. So keep your eye out for that. This is the brand Saison. This was my first time finding this brand, although I had heard of it. And actually, since we found these jeans, we found another Saison piece in, I don't know if it was a dress or a top, but I was just surprised that we found two in 1 week. I think I got a little happy just because I found the brand Saison and I hadn't found it before, so I was getting these jeans no matter what. But I actually did comps on these. They did not have the best sell-through rates. I chose to pick them up anyways, and I just priced a little lower, which is typically something I'll do with a higher end designer piece. I'll just price a little lower if I see that the sell-through rate is not there, and typically it helps to move the item. So I priced these at $50. I saw other ones going for like $80, $90. Some of them were over $100. I priced mine at $50. I thought that was fair for me to get back and still move the item quickly. But in general, this is a very high-end brand to pick up, so you might want to keep an eye out for it. I only paid $6.99 for these at a Goodwill. Here is Talbot's again. I picked this one up because it was new with tags and it was polka dot. This retailed for $90. Do you guys see the tag here? That's crazy. $90. So Talbot's can retail for quite a bit, especially new with tags. I'm going to pick it up. I paid only $4.69 for it, and it sold for $34. Next up is this band t-shirt. It's just a modern Van Halen shirt. I paid the full price for this at a thrift store. I paid $4.99. I usually pick up larger size band tees at the thrift store. This one was a men's size 2XL, so I felt pretty comfortable with it as long as it is a pretty well-known band. So in this case it was. This was also new with tags. Paid $4.99 and I accepted an offer of $25. And lastly is a J. Crew piece. This is a J. Crew women's blazer. This is like, a mall brand, but they do have some pieces that do really well. and J. Crew blazers are something that I look out for pretty frequently. They have one called Schoolboy Blazer, and those can go for like $40, $50, $60, but even some of these just tweed ones do pretty good as well. I paid $4.39 for this one, and it sold on an offer for $30. If you're passing on J. Crew on a regular basis just because it is a mall brand, you might want to take a look at some of their more substantial pieces like blazers, because you could be missing out. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Don't forget, if you're not already and you would like to be notified each time one of these videos goes live, to hit the subscribe button down below as well as the notification bell. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.